How's everyone doing? Today I have a Blu-ray and DVD update with 11 pickups. And if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them and let me know which one is your favorite from this lot right here. And first up, we have Hellfest, which I heard a lot of people rave about this movie. And to me, it seemed like a missed opportunity. It's an interesting concept, and I like the ending a lot, but everything else just seemed formulaic. The characters were throwaway characters. You didn't care about any of them. And that's something with this type of movie, you need to get invested in at least somebody in this. And all the characters they were just cringy, unmemorable. There was the one friend in here was really good. I can't remember her name right now, but she had been in the TV show The Killing, and she's really good. I think her name, and that was Bullet. I'm trying to remember her name in here. Bex Taylor Kloss. She was really the only character in here that was interesting. The killer is, wearing the mask right there. You don't get to know a lot about the killer, which actually kind of works out. Especially, again, like I said, really enjoyed the ending. I did think aspects of it were very formulaic. And they call the killer, the killer here, the Other is the name. You don't ever hear it in the actual movie, but that's what they refer to it in the credits and stuff like that. But this is basically about a traveling Halloween-themed amusement park. And basically, someone was killed at one of these, and this group of friends goes to this, and basically, they're going through the haunted houses and the different rides and stuff like that. And there's a masked killer picking some people off, and they realize that this one masked person is following them. And there's two really good kills. Besides that, the kills were kind of lackluster as well. For me, it's about average. I liked the concept. I liked the ending a lot. But everything else is just kind of meh. Yeah, again, Tony Todd was in here too. It was almost pointless for him to even be in there. He was in there for like a minute of the film. Very underutilized for a horror legend. I've heard a ton of people rave about it, but I kind of shocked because it just wasn't anything special. But it could have been. I don't know, the little aspects of like the carnival style. Again, more of an amusement park. Kind of makes me think of Tobe Hooper's Funhouse, which is an incredible slasher. Highly recommend Funhouse, but I feel like that is a little bit different, a little bit more unique, more creative, better in every aspect. But I still think it's worth checking out. But taper your expectations, especially with some of the reviews out there that are just praising it like crazy. I'm picky, I guess, but again, there was things to enjoy about it. Again. But not much to really. It's just a few things that stand out for it, but the rest of it was just a missed opportunity. I kind of hope they do a sequel and maybe learn from their mistakes. Make some of the characters, you can invest your feelings and emotions in there. You actually care about them instead of just throwaway characters. I don't know. Give me something else that's not so formulaic. Give me a little bit of a twist, something more unique. Although the ending, I like that twist aspect of it, but I don't know. I just wanted more. This is one of those ones where I think I was expecting more given all the reviews for the praiseworthy reviews. Next up from Criterion Collection, this was a Lionsgate release right there, the 4K Ultra HD. There's also a Blu-ray, and it says, from an executive producer of The Walking Dead, which is always hilarious to me. From one of the executive producers of whenever they do that. But next up from Criterion Collection is In the Heat of the Night, which is a classic. I popped this in, and as soon as I got it, incredible, looks fantastic. From 1967. This won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and then Best Supporting Actor, I believe, too, for Rod Steiger, who is intense. And everything I see him in, he's intense. I just watched The Big Knife with him in there, and Wolf Lake. He is just such the performances he gives, incredible. And here, too, he always plays like a really jerk character, and he does it so convincingly, so well. Sidney Poitier deserved to win for this performance, too. They call me Mr. Tibbs. I love that. But I really like the special features in here, too. Criterion Collection always does an amazing job with the transfers, packaging if you're a physical media fan collector. But the special features are amazing, too. They talk about Sidney Poitier, how he kind of came up with the slap back with the one character. And then who was the female in here? Lee Grant, talking about how she was blacklisted for like 12 years. Some really interesting special features in here, and just it looks incredible, sounds incredible. Again, you have the booklet, disc artwork, you've got interior artwork, which I definitely appreciate right there. Yeah, there you go. That is great. But it's a really just a truth, very truthful look into the times during the civil rights movement, especially down south, where this Philadelphia police detective, homicide detective, is just traveling in Sparta, Mississippi, and he gets caught up in a murder investigation. And everybody's really racist, and he's black, and they're all white, and it's just racial tensions abound all throughout. And you have the lead police chief right there, played by Rod Steiger, and they clash, but he realizes that he needs his help. And I think it was actually great performances across the board. Definitely a film that everybody should watch, in my opinion. This is one of those ones that should be in every film school class. Fantastic release. This is a new 4K digital restoration. I would highly recommend this release as well if you are a fan. Next up from Universal is Night School. Went in with low expectations because I am not a fan of either one of them. I don't really care for his stand-up comedy. I love stand-up comedy, but I think he's super overrated. I definitely think he's better as a comedic actor, but still not good as a comedic actor. And I'm not a big fan of Tiffany Haddish either. She actually she bombed on stage recently. And they keep pushing her in so many different things. I feel like kind of just like Melissa McCarthy, they just keep pushing her and pushing her. I'm like, stop, that's enough. She's not funny. Let it go. You tried, nah. But actually, this was probably my favorite thing I've ever seen her in. They didn't try to push her comedic elements too much outside of like a couple scenes. And Kevin Hart, again, I like when he does more reactionary comedy, which he did here, where he doesn't have to push everything and do all the comedic aspects himself. I like the supporting cast. We've got Fat Joe. I'm trying to remember the one guy's name from what is his name from Saturday Night Live. Rob Riggle's in here, but that's not who I'm thinking of. It doesn't even say it on the back, but I can't remember what his name is. But he's funny. He was really good in it. This guy right there, he plays the principal. I loved him in that role. But basically, it's about Kevin Hart's character who has to go back to night school to get a job, and because he dropped out of high school, and they find out that he has a learning disability, and he's trying to pretend that he's something that he's not for his fiance, and lots of hijinks ensue. I thought it was a fun time, and probably one of the better performances I've seen of Tiffany Haddish. And I'm not the biggest fan of either one of them, like I said. I did like Get Hard, though, with Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell. But many of the other ones I didn't really care for. Like, he was in Jumanji recently, the new one with The Rock. And I just felt like he was only in there because it's Kevin Hart. He's, skating on his namesake, essentially, because any other comedic actor in that role probably would have been better. But Night School was better than I was expecting it to be. If you're looking for some, mindless comedy and laughs, I think it's worth checking out. It did make me laugh a couple times, so I was surprised by that. And again, better than I was expecting, so give it a fair chance. I'm picky. I feel like maybe if you're really into a lot of the mainstream recent comedy movies, you'd probably like it even more than I did. Next up, I've got 3 copies of Johnny English Strikes Again. I never saw the first one. I did like Mr. Bean way back in the day, but I never saw the first one, but I don't know if I need to see the first one to see this one right here. I'm going to be checking this out soon. I've got 1 copy for me, and I'll be doing a giveaway for 2 copies as well. And this is from Universal. And yeah, it just looks like he's a spy, and it's going to be, he's coming back because all the other spies are out of action, and there's a hacker. He has to find the hacker. Yeah, it just looks like he's going to be playing his same character that he always does, Rowan Atkinson. He's an interesting dude. But I'm looking for, forward to some crazy hijinks right there. And expect a review for that coming soon. Next up from Warner Brothers, they sent both these titles over for review. It's Castle Rock. It's dramatically paced. I feel like I didn't hear a lot of people stick with it, and I feel like it's worth sticking with it. I do think it could have had more things happening here and there to really make it stand out. I still think it is a really decent TV show and series, and the ending, I was actually surprised with how they went with the ending. And I really like how they make Castle Rock a character/entity of its own, and how they delve into its history and how the town is evil and cursed and all of its bad luck. They talk about the bus crashes and all these different accidents and suicides and murders and how it's a continuing cycle. And it's a really creepy, dark drama overall, and I think it works really well. And certain parts of Castle Rock especially stand out with Shawshank, the prison, and the woods, which I think is a really cool, creative, unique idea what they're doing there. Again, with different characters and the hearing and the sound and just everything. By the time it's all revealed towards the end of the series, I think it comes together very well. Again, I love the whole realm of Stephen King, the characters, the locations, Castle Rock. There was a couple things tweaked here and there. There was an episode with the mother, which I just didn't really care for that episode overall. And I definitely feel like if they added certain things to make the whole series stand out a little bit more, like little things here and there, it would have been an amazing show. But as it is, I think it is a dramatically paced, really intriguing. There's horror elements. There's other elements going on, sci-fi, I guess, as well. But if you are a fan of the Stephen King universe, I think it's worth checking out. It's a very washed out hue. This is the 4K release. It has a nice slipcase. But yeah, very washed out hue. Lots of grays, blacks, darker tones like that. But character-driven drama where you get invested in here. There is a kid who comes back into town to Castle Rock, Maine. The Shawshank prison is there, and he gets a call about somebody that they found locked away in a cage at the prison. And they're trying to figure out who he is. He's not really talking initially. They don't know anything about him. They can't find his prints in the system, and he's going to defend him. And the story kind of unravels from there, and all the interconnected aspects of it, of the characters. I thought it was really intriguing, especially how it plays out in the final couple episodes. But you really have to stick with it, and I feel like a lot of people didn't give it that chance, and I can understand pacing-wise because of that. Next up is Crazy Rich Asians, which I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. I'm not that big into the rom-com genre, but this is definitely one of the better recent ones. They've already greenlit a sequel, and I can definitely see why. Awkwafina, who's kind of blown up, she was in Ocean's 8 as well. She's right there too. She hosted SNL. I don't think she's that great acting-wise, but I really liked her back in the day on YouTube. She used to do these like comedic raps, and I love them. Acting-wise, I don't know why she's getting all the praise. She, as far as Ocean's 8, unmemorable. Anybody else could have been in that role. Here, people were raving about her performance. It felt really cringy and forced, like they were just trying to push her to have those jokes, especially the dress trying on scene. That was terrible. Besides that, I don't understand the big appeal of her acting wise with these movies. Nothing special, but I really did like her back in the day on YouTube. But yeah, this is just a lavish, interesting, very entertaining. I was surprised by how much I liked it. It is a bit formulaic, but it works. It's satisfying. Basically, this girl goes back to Singapore, and she finds out that her fiance is essentially royalty there, and just everything that happens, all these people are going against her, including her fiance's family and the mother and everything like that. I really liked the cast here outside of Awkwafina. You've got Constance Wu, who is excellent, and a bunch of other recognizable faces too. Lisa Liu, Gemma Chan, but I really enjoyed the cast. And oh yeah, Michelle Yeoh is in here too. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Then you got again Constance Wu from Fresh Off the Boat, which is excellent, really funny TV show. And she was actually in a low-budget horror movie recently too. All the Creatures Are Stirring. Not the greatest movie, but interesting to see her doing from that to this. But this was a really good, entertaining time. If you like rom-coms, I would definitely recommend checking this one out. Kind of not necessarily a fish out of water kind of aspect, where she goes from where she is as a teacher to Singapore, seeing how lavish everything is. Definitely takes you out of it, but it is beautiful sets. I really enjoyed looking at everything in Singapore, how amazing the places are, the houses, and just the water too. There's a scene where they're just sitting on the water. It just was a beautiful, breathtaking shot. But how interesting all the dynamics are with the family aspect and what you have to do to get into all of that. I thought it was really, again, I thought it was formulaic but very satisfying. And again, you could see how things were going to play out, and I was kind of rooting for the character right there, Rachel, who I really enjoyed. She was phenomenal in the performance. Next up is Oath with Tiffany Haddish as well. I remember saying Night School is probably the favorite thing I've seen her do. This is probably my second favorite thing that I've seen her do. It's a more subdued role. It's really Ike Barinholtz's show, and he directs this too. He wrote it and directed it. And at first, I was like, this is just too on the nose, a little too cringy in spots, a little too overt in your face. But then the climax was heart palpitating. I got so invested and intrigued what was going to happen, and I ended up really enjoying it. It's kind of parodying the societal and political climate that we're living in, and there is a, I want to say it's called the Patriot Loyalty Oath. That's what it's called, Loyalty Oath. And basically, all the citizens in America are asked to sign this by the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, so they have a year to sign it. And they're hearing about all these people who don't sign it. They're getting taken away by these government officials, including Seth Rogen. They talk about how he got taken away. They never show him in the movie. So it's basically showing the divide, politic-wise, from this family. They're very liberal, and then his brother and his brother's new girlfriend are very right-wing conservative, and how they clash, and just how they spend this Thanksgiving few days right through the holidays. And there's this government agency that comes to the house to ask why he hasn't signed, and things escalate from there, just the tensions in the family. It was much better than I expected it to be. It started out a little rough, hit some rough patches, but then it definitely picked up the momentum, and by the end I was definitely invested, and it was it's a dark comedy, and very well done, and I think this definitely deserves to get more attention. And I like that Tiffany Haddish wasn't doing her typical shtick where it's so in your face, over the top, and she was more subdued. And Ike Barinholtz was really the lead here, and he was doing most of the comedic aspects. She was kind of playing off of him. They're husband and wife, and they have a kid as well, and they have the whole family right there. But really interesting, dark comedy parody take on the societal climate and political climate that we're in today. Next up are two movies, and this is from Lionsgate as well. Next up are two movies I didn't request, and I got them. I'm like, what is this? I even double checked my emails. I was like, no, I did not. They sent me like two emails about these coming out, press releases, and I didn't reply to either one of them. In fact, I didn't open up either one of them. I think I just saw the title. I was like, nah. And they sent this, and I was like, really surprised to see this. First up from Timelife is the Country Music Awards Live, Greatest Moments 1968 to 2015, a 3 DVD set. So yeah, if you're a fan of country music, this is probably right up your alley. You got Johnny Cash in here. I always think of him more folk, but a ton. Clint Black, Keith Urban, Blake Shelton, just a ton of people in here. So yeah, if you are a fan, do they have? Yeah, they have Clint Black listed on here a couple times. I guess they're, Glenn Campbell. I guess they're Johnny Cash listed a couple times. I guess different performances here, but yeah, so if you are a fan of country music, you'll probably enjoy this. There's some country music I like. I never used to be a fan. Again, I don't really consider Johnny Cash to be country, more folk, but I do like some. Chris Stapleton is probably my favorite. I actually did an album review for Chris Stapleton on my channel, so you can check that out. Next up is Odd Sock Eaters. I saw this as like, what is this? So again, I had to double check on both these. I was like, nope, they sent me 2 emails each. I didn't reply to either one. Didn't even open them, and they sent them. So sometimes that happens. If you're doing reviews and stuff, they will sometimes automatically send you stuff just to get coverage, even if you're not doing a full in-depth review. Any kind of, exposure that they can get, I guess they're happy with. But this is from Film Movement, is what it says on here, in Omnibus. So yeah, I guess these are just weird little creatures made of socks, I guess? Or no, they eat all the socks. That's what it is. It sounds intriguing, and it's based on international best-selling books. This looks terrifying to me. If I was a kid, this would give me nightmares. Look at that. Ah! That looks horrifying. If I was like a little kid, nah. Hold on to your socks right there. I thought they're made of socks, so they look kind of weird. They like have this fabric design, but I guess they eat the socks. So yeah, it's just creepy looking kids cartoon-esque animated thing right there. Don't know too much about it, but there you go. Those are the pickups right here. If you've seen them, definitely let me know what you think of them. Let me know what was your favorite. And I'll be doing a giveaway for Johnny English Strikes Again coming up soon once I view it and review it. So look forward to that coming up. And I'll probably do maybe more in-depth reviews on some of these other titles as well, like Castle Rock I want to talk about more. But yeah, some of these, Heat of the Night is a strong recommendation. If you're a fan of Castle Rock, Crazy Asians, I think Warner Brothers did a great release on them. Hellfest, I don't know. Let me know. I just wanted more from it, but I could see them greenlighting a sequel to it. Night School was better than I thought it was going to be. Do I need to see the first Johnny English movie to see this one? Probably not, is what I'm thinking. They'll probably do like a little bit of flashback or something like that, give you a backstory. But even then, I don't know if you need to... Any of that matters, really. You can probably just go in there and it's just him being ridiculous as a spy and all kinds of hijinks and, you know... I guess physical comedy is the biggest gag that he does. So, Rowan Atkinson, good time, Mr. Bean. Let me know what you think. Leave me those comments down below. Hope everybody's doing well. Take care.